South Africa is looking for clues after 21 teens were discovered dead in a packed bar. Arise analyst Xolisi Masango gives update on the incident as well as on the reaction of former President Jacob Zuma to the Zondo report on state capture and the outbreak of community transmission of monkeypox in the country. He joins us now. Xolisi, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. First of all, give us an update on the mysterious deaths of the 21 teenagers.
Right, apologies for that. You know, with technology these days, especially when you're busy on the field, it gets quite hectic, but it seems like now we're back when I can hear you and like you can hear me. So now, yes, the authorities of the country really have their hands full currently, really trying to figure out what could have led to the deaths of about 21 teens in East London, in the Eastern Cape here in the country. So currently right now, I think about an hour ago, we did get an update with regards to that. And now authorities are really trying to track and trace what might have happened this past weekend to those 21 teens. Now, an indication that we're getting thus far is that these teens could have been chemically poisoned at this particular tavern or nightclub there in the East London. Well, police are also saying that they still also yet to conclude some of those post-mortems of those 21 teens because they've sent some of the samples that they got from some of the dead teens to Cape Town for some testing. So we're only going to get an indication as to what really led to the death of those 21 teenagers a bit later on in the week. Meanwhile, a mass funeral has been arranged to take place next Wednesday, of course, in the Eastern Cape. And from there, those teens will be taken to their various areas where they will be buried by their families, sadly.
Yeah, some truly tragic and mysterious happenings there. But I actually want to discuss the president right now. Could you give us a bit of his reaction to the former president, Jacob Zuma's, on the Zondo report on state capture? What has been his response?
Right, it's been really a weekend of back and forth. You know, after that release of the final installment of the state capture commissioned by the commission's chair, Judge Raymond Zondo, who came out to say that, you know, President Jacob Zuma was complicit in the capture of the state during his tenure, where we've seen some of those big parastatals really going under following, you know, the interruptions there by the President Jacob Zuma's then associates, the Gupta family. So President Jacob Zuma came out this Saturday, with a press briefing to say that he really will not be taking the state capture commission lying down. First of all, what he will be doing, he will also be reporting the commission's chairperson, Judge Raymond Zondo, to the Judicial Services Commission, where he will be laying a formal complaint to say that he had on many occasions asked Judge Raymond Zondo to recuse himself from this particular commission, seeing that they had some sort of a personal relationship with the then former President Jacob Zuma. He said that, you know, he was somehow romantically linked to then President Jacob Zuma's sister at the time and had asked him to recuse himself because he had a conflict of interest. So right now, the former president says he will not be taking the State Capture Commission report lying down. First of all, he will be lodging a complaint with the Judicial Services Commission, and also he will be taking it to review, which would mean that it would be another lengthy process to have this report into review, where it would be with a fine-tooth comb scrutinized by that particular commission, or rather the Judicial Services Commission, who will be going through this report to say whether or not the commission's chair, Judge Raymond Zondo, was well within his means to make his findings, and are his findings valid. So it would seem like this battle between the commission's chair as well as the former president is far from over from how things stand right now.
Very well said. And when it rains, it pours. We've talked about the incident with the 21 people who died, unfortunately. Now the president's reaction to the Zondo report. And also we have an incident regarding the monkeypox, a second record in South Africa. The person in question had no travel history, just like the first. Just wondering if there's any link to the first person that was discovered that was diagnosed with monkeypox this time last week.
I've seen a pattern with the Department of Health. This happened, when the first, the second, the third, the fifth, case of COVID-19 back in 2020 in the country. They seem to really be trying to be treading cautiously, especially when they come out to announce these cases of monkeypox that we've seen in the country. Yes, they've confirmed that the country now officially has the second case of monkeypox, but went on to say that South Africans should not really panic. I don't know how that should not cause panic at this time, because South Africans really come from this lengthy battle with COVID-19. At this time, I've seen social media, I've spoken to some South Africans who come out to say the government is always the first to tell people not to really, be in a state of panic or in a state of shock at the time, because they have this under control. This is the second case now of monkeypox here in the country, and this is a male that is believed not to have a travel history, just like the first case, as you've correctfully so mentioned. So now the government is really saying with now their tracking and tracing efforts to ensure that they nip this monkeypox in the bud, in order for them to really make sure that it does not go or get out of control like we've seen with the COVID-19 pandemic. But of course, they've also went on to tell South Africans and reassure them that it does not spread as fast as COVID-19 does, and they have this under control. Whether they do have it under control, it remains to be seen. We're keeping our pulse firmly on this in the next couple of weeks to monitor developments as far as the story is concerned.
But in the meantime, are there guidelines for South Africans to follow on how to avoid contracting this disease? And are they adhering to the guidelines?
Well, what they've been saying, South Africans have really been in a state of panic. They are well within their rights to be like that, because this is the same pattern we've seen in the emergence of COVID-19 some 2 years ago, when they were told that not to panic. The government has the pandemic under control. Some months later, we've seen lockdowns in the country. But of course, the department comes out to say that South Africans should ensure that they really keep themselves away from each other, from close contact with each other. This is at the time where they're also saying that at least the light at the end of the tunnel is that monkeypox does not spread as fast and as easily as COVID-19 does. But of course, just did warn South Africans to remain careful and really watch whom they are in contact with at a certain particular point in time, but continued to say that South Africans should not panic. And this is at a time where they're monitoring and tracking and tracing some of the people who have contracted this disease so far, which is just only 2 people in the country.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and your analysis, Xolisi Masango, as always.